Okay, yeah, good. Okay. If you have a look at the maps of Western Poland from the beginning of the 20th century, then you notice that there are lots of features that would be named Swedish fortifications. And those would be the reminiscence of the 30 Years' War that went through these parts of the country. And to see how big influence these war activities had upon the landscape is when you look at the features that weren't really related to the war but were named after it anyway. And here there are three examples of such a feature. So there's a round fort from early medieval times, which was still called a Swedish fortification. And in the middle you can see actually a post-glacial feature that was also named after that was thought to be made by the Swedes in the 17th century. But after the Second War, we had a migration of people. So those people that used to they left, and were the people from the east parts of Poland. They moved into the western part, and there was the Second World War had such a big influence that those activities from the 17th century they were forgotten, and only recently, and due mostly to remote sensing techniques. And here, actually, LiDAR is one of the strongest techniques that is helping us to reveal the change in the landscape that was done in the 17th and 18th century. And in my presentation, I will show you a small case study of field fortifications from one part of Poland, and it's quite a specific place because it's a collection of two rivers. One is an older river, which is a big one, and it's a borderline between Germany and Poland, and the other one is Nisauczycka, which is also a borderline. So these two rivers have quite a big importance in the past as a communication lines, in the present as the borderline. So all the data that I will be presenting will be within this red rectangle feature. So here, if you have a look at the map from that was presenting the movement of the army in the 30s of 17th century, you can see that the Swedes, while invading the Christian terrain, they were moving through the river, and especially to this point, the river would have a big influence upon the movement of the army. The first activity during the 30th War in that place was conducted in 1629, and actually it was a small battle on the river between the inhabitants of local cities. They were fighting over this piece of land, or actually water, to have the influence upon the passage that was in that part. And this is also, the importance of this place is also quite well indicated on the map from the middle of 18th century. So you'd see that there are field fortifications indicated, 6 of them in the eastern part, and one in the northern part, the one that we'll also focus on mostly. And here is this bridge was built in the 18th century, and it gives a really good datation post-quem for this map. Okay, so we've been focusing on those field fortifications on the southern side of the river, and due to LiDAR, we could identify 2 of the features that were on the map out of 6. The other 6 actually seems like haven't survived the later use of the land, which is today, as you can see on this map, is a wooden area, and this is more the area that is, even today, it can be flooded by the river. And our attention was drawn also to the biggest feature, and it seems like it has a. We aren't really sure, so it's a preliminary interpretation. But it seems like the feature was more complicated than the one indicated on the map. And here you can see how this feature is in today's state. Because only this feature was also possible to do via geophysics, was the, let's say, easiest one, because the other were in the wooden part, and this one was something that we felt essential to this field fortification works. We wanted to see if we would find the passage that is indicated on the map. So this was the part that we've done to geophysics, and we didn't identify the passage, but the ditch was clearly noticed. We were also looking for some features that would identify the presence of an army there, that could tell us if the army was stationed there. Would it be stationed there longer, or would that features would ever have any part in any battle? Because there was no historical sources that would say that there would be any battle there. But it seems like some of the anomalies would show that maybe there would be some fires there, but we aren't yet sure how to interpret them. This, as you can see also from this is the part from the 20th century map. You can see that this part where the field fortifications was quite important for a fair that was there, and it's also indicated on the map from the middle of the 18th century. And at that point, we have few historical sources saying that armies would move through this part of land, and it was in the campaign of the 30s and then in the campaign of the 40s. So the problem is that the map is stating that these fortifications, they would be probably built in 1634. That's what the map states. But then historians would really like to see it as built in 1644, because in 1634 there was the Swedish troops were moving through this part of land. So there is still a problem of identifying who and for what reasons build those fortifications there, and we have to still tackle that problem. But it seems like still this place was quite important from the perspective of strategic regions. So at the beginning of 18th century, just opposite of this area that I've been showing, a new fortification was planned to be built, but it was never built successfully. And I will talk more about it later. But at this point, actually, the 2 bridges were established, and one of them was also fortified. None of the remains of those 2 bridges have survived till this day. So on the right, you can see the project, quite big project of fortification that was planned to be built there. And here on the left, you can see the today usage of the land. So via aerial photography, you can see the lines of the fortifications. It seems like the August II, who was also the ruler of Saxony and the king of Poland, he wanted to establish a fort in this place, but he didn't have enough money, so the first project never came to be, and the second one was a lot smaller, but that one also didn't succeed. Interestingly, the two rivers that were drawing so much attention into this place, they actually devoured it. Because at the beginning of the 20th century there was a big flood. And at that time the Prussian government abandoned the idea of building the embankments embankments against the flood. And since then, this place was only being deserted. So you can see the difference of how the city was built big in the beginning of 20th century, and then how it was already abandoned in the half of the 20th century. And this is how the area is shown on LiDAR data, and you can see which parts of the fortifications have been made. And interestingly, in the 90s, archaeologists have been looking for a fort, late medieval fort, but they've never found it. All they encountered at this point was they only focused on the fortification of the 18th century. But it seems like actually the late medieval fort was this small mount that you see, and which the church used to stand on, and where today only parts of the graveyard can still be seen in the landscape. And today, also through the area photography data, we can detect the state of the fortifications that were made. And we still didn't focus yet on this northern side. We were more focusing on the southern one, which is a little bit less studied than this abandoned village. But yep, that's it. Thank you for your attention.